Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the Art Review series. And today we'll be checking out the work of Ling000 or Yin Ling here on Instagram. Now, this artist is a recommendation from the comment section. But I have seen this guy's work before. And they have a very graphic, sharp style. I have a couple of recommendations in regards to artists who are kind of like this guy. And I think for the past few episodes, I've been tackling artists who do have this style. Let me see. I'm gonna write down pinto. Oh, by the way, when I mention artists, I do recommend you check the description below because that's where I put the recommended artists or content. Pinto, michal, sawtyruk, and luca pisana. Let me find their name. Luca pisanu. I'm sure there's more, but these are the artists that come to mind for me. Yeah. Let me just... By the way, they do have a website, so you can check that out. It's linked in their Instagram, but they have apparently they've been working on some big projects. Love, Death and Robots, Spider-Man. They have their own... I'm guessing original world means their own, like, original world. Railroad painting. Let me just check this one out. Maybe it's like a plein air thing. Oh shit! Right? It looks like a scrapbook. It has like that collage scrapbook look, just because it feels like the edges were cut with an X-Acto knife or a scissor, or something, or a blade. And with this kind of style, you don't really get a lot of... Let me just click this one. You don't get a lot of like soft edges. I'm afraid this one you can see the gradients, sure. As you go further down, it does get a bit darker, focusing more on this water thing. But yeah, even the trees in the background, it's all done with selection tools. Even like these water reflections, pretty cool. And notice how the perspective can be kind of skewed sometimes. It's part of the art style, and I think it makes it look even more interesting because if you have this sort of cut out style, but your perspective is a bit too perfect, I don't know. It's kind of boring if you do it that way. But if you just skew you make your shots a little more dynamic, I think you can make it more interesting, right? Like you want to have a combination of something in your work. Now this one's a bit more stable. And I've seen this style in like editorial art, illustration. It's very cool to see in like magazines because it kind of fits that world where everything is kind of clean, top tier. Let me see this guy. I can't remember this other guy. Because there was a time where I was really into like editorial artwork, but they have this sort of look as well. Excuse me, when it comes to their style, but I forgot their name. Sadly, but yeah, look at how interesting this shot of the house is. You have a bunch of different values in there, right? Let me just point them out. You have this sort of aqua blue, right? You have this light blue, dark blue, another kind of grayish blue. So if you're gonna have like one area, you want to have multiple values or even hues in that one space. It just helps it make it look less boring and plain. And look at how the bricks were I'm guessing these chimneys. They're made of bricks. I'm basing that off of these like markings here to sort of suggest brickwork. Focusing on the foliage at the front. Look at how basic those shapes are. I mean, I see like a round shape here, some triangles, but that's it. I'm not sure if they're using custom shapes or if everything was done with like a lasso fill tool. Because some of these shapes feel repetitive. So maybe they're using that. Or maybe some kind of stamp tool. And you know, I guess I've seen a lot of vector art that's kind of they tend to have this look where everything is like flat. Obviously it makes more sense because when you zoom in or zoom out, it's like it's infinite basically. So if it's gonna be that way, it has to be like your artwork has to be somewhat clean. So a lot of vector art tends to be like flat, like this. Like you don't see a lot of textures often. By the way, I do recommend an app called Concepts app. It has an infinite canvas, but it also like it's possible because it like when you draw on it or paint in it, it's all vector, so you can keep zooming in and out. So I do recommend that program. I've had it for a while, but I did recently like subscribe to their like membership for some extra perks. And I think you get infinite layers too. I'm not sure, but yeah. I guess you can achieve this kind of look as well, because I do know it has like a lasso tool too. Even these details for these like floorboards, like not everything is, it's not lined all the way. It's only in some parts. And that's kind of the cool thing. You don't have to do everything because you can sort of suggest it. Like your mind will fill in the gaps. It's gonna do it yourself. Like your mind is gonna do it itself. I do like these shadows over here being like implanted or casted on this dining set. Even this glass over here, that's super cool. Yeah. Everything is like plain too. Like I don't see any, aside from this glass pane over here and on this side, I do see like this white part, the reflections from the outside. I think the opacity is set lower, so you do see that kind of layering, but everything else just seems flat. Like there's no overlaying strokes. Everything is a bit clean. Pretty cool. I speak French too. I'm guessing it's a French bulldog. I don't know. Is that a thing? Who knows? So it's knowing even like these details in the road. Look at how they're like triangles and circles. And what's so cool about this is you can tell a story with this kind of style. And again, mentioning editorial art, I like how people can sort of summarize like an idea or a concept or a happening or an event with just one image. And it being in this style, I think it's very impressive. So it's snowing. There's a bit of a fog here. I'm guessing all of this white in the middle is like just snow. Is it like a ski resort? Who knows? But look at how the trees are done. Very sort of basic. Lots of triangles. But there's a soft thing happening here, and that's pretty much this like fog thing. I'm guessing they're using like a soft brush for that. But I don't see any like blurring tools, blending tools, mixer brush tools, none of that. It's all just very direct. I mean, all of these could be like a cover for like a magazine, a book, an album cover. It could even be like a wall sort of design, because you know how in some malls or buildings they will print art or have art in the walls. So I think I don't know, this can work. especially with this kind of style. Although I feel like they're not doing this in like Illustrator. I think it's a Photoshop. I think they're mainly using Photoshop. That's my guess. So it may be hard to vectorize this thing, but maybe it's possible to have like something done in Photoshop and then you vectorize it somehow. Oh shit, this one does have a little more texture. I do see a lot more like splattering brushes, some rake brushes. So definitely a lot more grit. I even like the wiring over here. And look at how the smoke is. Can we zoom in? Oh, we can't. But look at how the smoke was done here. They actually drew the outline of the smoke a little bit. You even see some outlines here. So it's a bit different. And when it comes to the sky, I do see a lot more. I'm guessing it's some kind of texture, or maybe it's like a cloud brush or something. Because we've seen other paintings of theirs where it's kind of like this, where the clouds are also flat. So seeing this is kind of a, sorry, this one, it's kind of a different vibe. But it still retains a sort of graphic scrapbook cutout look, especially in the bottom half. More texture, but again, very sort of sharp, plain, or again, a graphic look, a sharp look. Oh, this one's interesting. It's more of a close-up of some leaves. I remember Leia Pinto, she has like a recent piece where she did like a close-up of a set of flowers, I think. But most of her work is sort of environmental, kind of like Ling over here. Very cute. Oh, this one's a lot darker. Very gray, very moody. Reminds me of the film Arrival. It's like an alien movie. It has that same vibe. Very gray, very kind of foggy, rainy. But notice how the clouds are not flat. I think you have to be able to learn how to draw or paint clouds in this way. I'm guessing they have a couple of custom brushes to achieve this, because it does not look like a photo texture to me. And I think they're kind of hard to do, especially where they're kind of in this type where it's a little more hazy, foggy. Because I think it's easy to draw clouds when they're like super big and like white. Because it just feels like sharper. But for this one, it just seems to blend everywhere. But let me go back. Yeah, lots of textures. But those textures are painted in. I'm guessing some are custom shapes. My guess. I'm guessing these like wire lines. It's a line tool. From Photoshop. Maybe. Here we have an interior. I mean, look at the white part of this room. Everything here is kind of clean, right? But as you go into the shadows, you do see a way more detail in there, like all of these scratchy stuff. It shows you kind of the age, maybe. I remember seeing this short tutorial by DAVIII, and if you want some dramatic lighting, you want to do one of two things. Either, because there's always going to be like a light side or a dark side, right? Just make sure one side has a lot more detail than the other one, and leave the other one kind of plain. And that's how you can achieve this sort of dramatic lighting. So if you're gonna have a lot of detail, say with the lights, then make sure when it's the shadows, it's all like black or super dark or whatever. Or even if it's like a purple or something, just make it almost empty. That's how you can achieve that dramatic vibe. Or you do the reverse, where you add most of the detail in the shadows, kind of like what's happening with this image, right? In the walls anyway. Well, I do see some blurring here, or some dirt maybe, or maybe it's a shadow from the trees. Oh shit, I think it's from the trees. I do see like a branch here with some like leaves. So it's being casted from outside maybe. Even the reflections on these tables, it's a lot softer. Maybe they're using some kind of blur tool. They're copying this, putting it down, reversing it, and then blurring or adding like a motion blur maybe. Who knows? This one has a good balance of like hard edges and soft edges. Pretty cool. Nice car. They have a lot more, but I want to see some of their... Because in their YouTube, or sorry, their Instagram, they did feature some like Transformer. Hey, what's this? Yeah, this one's more of the simplified, very graphic, almost no texture look. We do see some softness in the sky and in the ground a little bit. I see some like white stuff. I'm guessing they're like reflections coming from the light or sun. Pretty cool. I like it. I actually thought this was a photo. Wow. In a way, even though it's like very graphic, if you zoom in, the lighting seems so realistic for this one. And look at the shadows over here. It's painted with a brush. And you can even see the spacing, the brush spacing, right, in these edges. And then once they painted like the shadow area, then they added into these details. Again, most of the details are in the shadows, not in the areas of light. So again, it has a dramatic look. Lots of texture here. I'm guessing custom shapes. Some rake brushes. Pretty cool. So cool. So I guess that's Ling. I like the profile picture. I don't have one because I'm not too fashionable. But one day, when I'm like super rich or something. So I'm guessing they did some work for Transformers. I want to see the post. Some more color keys for Transformers 1. Okay, so I think they did work on the film. I think the color keys, when you talk about color keys, I'm guessing they're here to set the tone or to figure out what's a proper color tone for this specific scene. Right? Because I do know the colors kind of match the like the pacing of the movie. Like in some parts it's going to be more red, in other parts it's going to be more like blue. It really depends, but the point is that colors do change as the movie or film progresses. So I think that's very cool. And it kind of fits their style because they are kind of very like straight edge, right, or graphic in that way. So I think it fits the Transformers world, obviously because of the mecha sort of shapes. Lots of hard edges. I'm guessing they're like a 3D base, right? Oh yeah, those are mostly quick paint over pre-visualization 3D models. Cool. Very moody. So it's like post-apocalypse. Because the snow is kind of a little too much. And she has like a bow and arrow. Or a set of arrows. So maybe she's like maybe she's immune to some kind of virus or disease. Who knows? I mean, doing quick exercises like these, I think it helps you develop your visual... First of all, observational skills. It's a great way to practice your observational skills. But it's fast too because you don't have to waste time like blending stuff. It's very straightforward, just shapes. So I call it the cutout style, or it just because there's a filter in Photoshop called cutout. It can turn pretty much any image into something like this, right? Where everything's like simplified into like super basic shapes. Some landscapes here. More Transformers. Is this a book? Or a print? Let's scroll for... Oh, look at this guy. Can we see more images? Man, the quality is so shit. Like when you zoom out, look at how like easy to read it is, but when you zoom in, it like blurs immediately. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, Liang Mark is another guy I would recommend when it comes to this style. I think I recommended this guy in the last episode. Who knows? Although Liang Mark is a little more painterly. I want to find some paintings of theirs. Like the 2D stuff. It's kind of hard to find them because I think they've been focusing more on like 3D with some 2D painting on top. Oh, this one's kind of like that, kind of like the cutout style. Look at the trees, very like triangle. I'm guessing it's like a basic custom brush or shape, and it's like a repeated thing, right? Even like these rocks. Interesting that there's a guy here, but everything is sort of flipped. So maybe it's a fallen kingdom or something. And it kind of fell. Oh, that's super cool. Look at how you don't see a lot of mixer brushes, right? So it's very similar to Ling in that way. So I do recommend, let me write down Liang Mark as well. Liang Mark. Let me go back to Ling. I've seen Yinling's work often, and for a while now, and I think they tend to have, oh, it's a big image. They tend to, what's so cool about this like 1:1 like box ratio is you can either make it like a vertical portrait thing, and you would still have something, but you can also like zoom in this way and have something that's landscape. So like you can have more compositions that way. Because if you draw something in like landscape only, and then you try to make a portrait version of it, or try to find like a portrait crop of it, it's gonna look kind of less. But with most like 1:1 ratio paintings or illustrations, you can not only have like a 1:1 or 1:1 box square ratio image, but it can also turn into like a landscape image and a portrait image. Right? Like this could be a wallpaper for your laptop, right? Or it could be like a wallpaper for your phone. Lots of textures. I think they're really trying to portray like the age of this. What do you call this? I'm not sure what you call this. This not bridge. It's like a thing in the water. And again with this girl, kind of a schoolgirl with some bow, with a bow and arrow or arrows. Right? Pretty cool. And again, they're not afraid to show off the brush spacing. I think it's part of the style. Transformers, Optimus Prime. I do like the film Transformers 1. And I think this is what most people like. I mean, having Transformers along with like human beings, live action style, it's okay. But I think a lot of people would actually like a fully animated Transformers movie. I remember seeing this, the Bumblebee, the recent one, with Haley Steinfeld or something. Steinfeld. And there was a clip in the beginning of Transformers in their home world, Cybertron. And it's one of the best scenes in the movie. Not to take away from like the storytelling of the whole film, but I don't know, it just looks really good seeing that whole Cybertron kind of world happening. I mentioned earlier something about dramatic lighting. Look at how everything is set, or most of the details are in this like spotlight where the light is sort of hitting this ground and part of this wall. Everything else is almost like one value on the outside. It makes everything look so freaking dynamic. Same girl with the bow and arrows. I'm guessing she's bored or something. The last girl standing in this planet. So here, I'm guessing she's in Europe, maybe? Italy? One of those places with like hills. It must be, I do like these types of setups because it's more... When you're surrounded by super high-rise buildings, I feel like you're so kind of detached, but with this kind of style of housing, it's more group-oriented. It feels a lot more walkable. But right now I'm seeing like this slope, so it's gonna be a workout if you walk daily. Because cars are gonna be a hard thing to... Maybe you can bike? Who knows? I do like the idea of walkable cities just because... it doesn't have to be every city, but... I do like the blurring thing, the soft thing happening here in the wall. I think it's nice to have these along with the sharper shapes, just to balance things out. I'm guessing this brick pattern here, it's a custom shape, my guess. Or some kind of photo brush like stamp. You know what? I would recommend Sparth too. I think Sparth is a good guy to recommend. Notice too the perspective shots. They're not too crazy. They're kind of simple. Meaning it's like stable. And there's usually like one character to, set the... to set... First of all, it's a focal point, but also I'm trying to look for a word. It determines the scale of the whole thing, right? Like you will know how big or how small something is if you have like a human being, because you can put yourself in the position of that person, right? And usually the girl is like standing, and then there's like something in the background. I do like snow. There's just something about it. Because I've lived in like a desert area, super hot. I've lived in a tropical area where it's like very humid. I mean, lots of trees. The sun is great, but when it gets like sticky, and I've been in areas of snow. What's this? This one seems a little more painted. Lots of textures. Look at that. So nice. I mean, I'm sure you can do these types of illustrations quickly. But obviously it takes practice to be able to just know what to do with less, right? Look at how the mountains are or hills. They are their own shapes. Same thing for the trees. I see lots of like leaves here. I'm guessing they're custom brushes too, or like stamp type brushes. Word kind of just repeat or repeats. Cool. Yeah, they just know how to do with. Oh wow. This one feels kind of seductive. Like erotic. I'm guessing it's like a red-orange kind of vibe. I like how the cool part here, or the temperature-wise, is this window. It's kind of like bluish purple. And then everything else... I see a bit of blue here, purple. But everything else is like on the warmer side. lots of reds. It's so like I feel like I'm seeing her from a different side or something. I don't know. I feel so vulnerable. It's kind of hot. Reminds me of a song by The Weeknd, After Hours. There's like a part of that song that's, I don't know, it makes me feel something. I won't say it because maybe it's too much. I mean, look at the storytelling here, right? She's kind of in shadow. The light is seeping through the window, but only in this part. But it's casting, or it's being lit, or the top of her bow is being lit. So maybe she's contemplating whether or not to go about something again, right? She's. It seems to me like she's trying to decide something. And this bow represents like something she needs to do. But guessing, given that she's in shadow, she's not in a good place, or she's in a delicate position, right? Because you can hardly see her. There's a lot of like uncertainty because everything is in like darkness. Or maybe if she's in darkness, the thing that's giving her clarity is this bow, right? Because it's in light. So maybe this is not about deciding. Maybe it's about her already deciding, because have already. Maybe she has already made a decision based on this image. Like, this is what she needs to do, kind of thing, right? I don't know. That's kind of my take on it. But again, look at the narrative here. It's very like quiet. It's very like soft. It's not so out there. Look at the perspective. It's not even crazy. It's not kind of like splash art kind of thing. It's just a simple narrative, but it's powerful. Yeah, I'm going to end the art review here of Ling. I'm going to link this page along with the website. The website, by the way, is in the Instagram as well. It's over here. I'm going to link this page in the description below. And I'll see you in the... Look at that next. Bye.